Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Our show today is A Woman's Prerogative, in partnership with E360 TV. Our topic, I'm really looking forward to this one because I've had a couple of instances just over the weekend that will show this up for what we experience. The Great Disconnect, how technology hijacked human connection. I'm Caroline Heward. I'm absolutely thrilled and honoured to be representing Dr. JACALYN as your host for USA TV and Radio's flagship show, A Woman's Prerogative. I'm a TV presenter on the channel and also the resident therapist for USA Global TV and Radio. A very warm welcome to all of our loyal viewers and to our friends at E360 TV. Hello to all of our friends on our usual social media channels, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn and X. I'm joined today by the wonderful Reverend Lydia Fougeres. She comes all the way from Canada, and I've heard tell from what she shared on other shows that Canadians are very like the British. So we will hear more. We seem to resonate on many different aspects of the way that we would respond. Reverend Lydia Fougeres, she is a TV presenter and has her own show in French. I'm sure she'll tell you a little bit more about that. She is an author, a bilingual self-help author, and she is a registered nurse. She is also a holistic nurse and an intuitive and spiritual healer. She invented Miracle Mist, which is patent pending, and she's an advocate for free rights. Let's welcome Reverend Lydia Fougeres.
Hello.
Hello, a warm welcome. Please, Reverend, share with our viewers, especially the ones that are here for the first time, a little bit about what you do and how you bring value to your clients and how you create collaborations that work. Because just before we began the show, you shared some very exciting news, and I'd like you to share that with our viewers as well.
Oh, yes. Well, that is it. When I helped someone actually find an apartment, a new immigrant in Canada, I was offered, it just happened like that. I was offered to actually start speaking about my programs, which have to do with my self-help books that I wrote, 111 Reflection for Thy Earth Odyssey. That person thought that I was so open-minded and that she said I was so kind that she said, you should talk everywhere. You should actually share your knowledge to everyone. And she put me in touch with many people. So that is like, I had no idea about that. And so she knows I'm a spiritual healer, and I work on personal transformation, introspection, mindfulness, and compassion, and through self-discovery. I'm the inventor of the Miracle Mist, and it's a spray that purifies the area. So it elevates vibrations and it helps against ghosts, entities, for those that understand and believe in them. I'm also ambassador for equality and country manager for USA Global TV Canada. USA Global TV and Radio for Canada and all French countries. So that is pretty much me. I do have my TV show in French on every second Wednesday. So thank you very much.
Wow, Reverend Lydia, thank you so much for sharing all of your good news. And although I can't speak French, and so I don't understand your shows, I wished I could, because they're all in French. I really do celebrate the fact that you are doing some wonderful work out there. Thank you so much for all you give to our viewers and your clients, and the potential of other people that can gain access to your work. Well done on this collaboration. I'm so excited for you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I couldn't let that go, especially if you just shared it with us backstage. For me, I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert, and I help people bust their stress. How do I do that? I work with root cause therapy and chakra psychology, how the mind and body connects, and what happens to the person physically, emotionally, mentally, behaviorally when there's an imbalance. And the imbalance is the symptom. It's whatever they're complaining about. So if they're complaining about a physical ache and pain, like back pain, neck pain, or throat problems, if they're complaining about a situation or a relationship, that is how their stress is manifesting. And I work with root cause therapy to identify the root cause of what initially created the problem. And I work in their blueprint to identify all of the instances, but the first initial instance of when it happened. I'm also a speaker, and I'm the resident therapist for USA Global TV and Radio. I've been on the channel now for almost 4.5 years, since 7/7/21, where I was invited to be part of the channel's expert coaches. And I've also been part of the Talking Heads team. I'm one of 5 of the Talking Heads experts on the channel. And there I go. There I am in the corner. Thank you very much, Dr. JACALYN, for showing the card. And I run a show once a month, every Thursday, the last Thursday of the month. And I talk about all manner of things that create anxiety, stress, depression, and whatever's topical that's causing you problems. I'm also a speaker, both at live events and online, and I do lunch and learn events, both live and online. Well, let's get into our topic. Reverend Lydia, I've had a few instances over this weekend where I felt that this was going to be a really good topic, even though we've covered in previous shows about the fact that we are disconnected because of our technology. I have a new angle for this in terms of looking at the great disconnect, how technology hijacked human connection. Because I do feel that that really spoke to me, how it hijacks the humanness of our connection. Now, in a world of constant connection, and we are constantly connected with all sorts, and we are bombarded with all sorts of messages from lots of different people, organizations, technologies. Our real connection is harder to find. And I'm going to caveat real connection as I go through this little intro. Our phones keep us plugged in, if you know what I mean. We're very plugged into our phones. If we hear a ping, we can't wait to sometimes check, is that a love? Is that a like? Is that somebody that desperately needs to message me? Now, when I was growing up, I grew up at a time where the phone rang and it was on a curly wire and fixed to the wall, and we didn't have these challenges, but we are living in different times. So the phones keep us plugged in. Emotionally, many are unplugged from each other, even from ourselves. In this episode, we are going to ask the big question, and it is a big question. Has technology hijacked our humanity? We're going to explore why genuine connection and why it matters for our well-being, how the digital life is shaping our relationships, and how we can bring ourselves back to reconnect in a world that's forgotten, and how we do that. So my first question, it's always a question that I start off with, and that is, we have a paradox of connection here. We're sorely horrendously connected in all sorts of devices. Are we more connected than ever, or are we more disconnected than we've ever been? We have the illusion of belonging online, and yet there is a contrast in our digital space. What are your thoughts about that, Reverend Lydia?
Well, I would say we are more disconnected than connected, because the thing is that we do not get to make profound mutual friendships. We do not get to know the person. We have followers, we have thousands of followers, and we do not know most of them. We have people that comment on what we write, but those people, we do not even know if they are real. So, and people just open accounts, have facades. They actually, we do not really connect with them because they might not even be real. So that is pretty much it. They might not even be real. So we have to be very careful because we think we're connected, but at the same time, we are disconnected.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. I really empathize with you here because I've had a challenge just today where I was trying operatively for some time, many hours today and over the weekend, to make payments. And I was getting text messages from a mobile number that I'd not seen before. And it was starting to worry me because this is the way that scammers work. And it was asking me to respond to a text message that didn't say the bank name. And it started to make me feel very uncomfortable. So I just thought, no, I'm going to keep trying operatively to call them. And they just kept going round and round in a loop. And it felt so disconnected. And I spent such a lot of time going round and round in that loop because I was speaking to robots and trying operatively to get through to somebody. And I couldn't make a couple of payments. They'd blocked my card and blocked my bank account. And I just thought, this is ridiculous. How can we live in this kind of society? And I thought, no, I'm going to keep having a go to connect with a human being. And I had another go much later. And shortly before the show, I spoke to somebody who was a human being. And I said, oh, thank goodness for that. There's a human being that's picked up this call. And I felt so grateful that she had picked up the call and I had patience to keep waiting. She resolved the issue and my account was indeed blocked and my card was blocked. And I just had to go through some security. And I shared some feedback about the fact that the text message made me feel very uncomfortable and very wary because I really wanted to make sure I wasn't being scammed. And the only way that I could do that was connecting with a human being. And this will happen for many people. And luckily, I persevered and I got through to somebody and got the situation resolved. How many times are we held to ransom by having to respond to robotic and text messages when we don't really know if it's real? What are your thoughts about what I've just shared, Reverend Lydia, in terms of the fact that I could have been scammed if I had been less careful?
You are right. You could have been scammed. And the thing is that when we are not careful, when we actually do not try to talk to a real person, well, what I do when those things happen is that I tell them, give me the number, I will call back. So I verify the number, I verify if it's a real company, and so on and so forth. So I am very, very careful now that I have been scammed. So, but you are right. You are absolutely right. You were careful. You did the right thing. And we are scared of being scammed all the time now. So we are afraid. We are absolutely afraid of talking to it. We're chatting. I do not think it's a very good idea to actually trust a chat when we are talking about banking, investing, whatever. when it has to do with our money, our credentials, a chat is really not something we should trust, and we have to double check.
I'm so in agreement, and I persevered because I didn't want to answer very security-like questions. I didn't feel comfortable in answering a text message saying yes, no, yes, these are real transactions, when it didn't actually say anything about the bank that it was coming from. So I did get through to somebody who was amazing, listened, and she really understood why I was being so cautious. And I felt heard. I felt that my bank were, even though it was a call center, I felt like they cared enough to listen, and they cared enough to see that I was being ultra careful. And I said, I'm really grateful that you're looking after my account that way, because it could have been fraudulent. So even though it was a nuisance and it was really annoying that I had to wait and I couldn't pay for things, I was very happy that they were looking after my account and gave them that kind of feedback. And I said, it's just frustrating when we get caught in a process. So looking at our digital connections versus our connections that are human connection, emotional. So I'm looking at, and I had some amazing emotional connections. I was at what felt like a party on Saturday, and I'll be talking a little bit more about that later on. It was a dance, a 70s, 80s dance event. And it just felt amazing. I felt drunk on the human connection. I felt really emotional. And I feel that that's different from the way that we can interact online, because there was a human touch. And this one lady kept touching my hair, saying, what gorgeous hair you have. And it was just, it made me feel amazing. I can't get that experience online. What are your thoughts about what I've just shared, Reverend Lydia? Because it does sound silly, because we do amazing connections on this channel. And yet that touch, that emotional connection really sold it for me. I felt so amazing.
Well, it is the real connection, because, I have to admit, I am anxious to travel to England to meet you, in person. I am very anxious to meet Dr. JACALYN also. So the thing is that we do get along. We always did get along. But the thing is that having this connection of actually seeing one another, having tea together, that is totally out of this world. We can actually have a hug, the entire thing. So it is totally different. It is so much better. So the interaction between, socializing on the web and socializing in real life, this is totally different. Going to an event, a live event, is so much better than receiving an award online instead of receiving an award and you're really having the award in your hand. There's no comparison. You cannot compare that.
I'm so in agreement. And I was actually at an awards ceremony where they didn't do it on Zoom, and they did it where they sent a YouTube link and I was watching rather than being part of the participation. And it felt not great. I felt very disconnected. And I paid for that link and felt that I could have just been watching TV. So you make a really valid point about the fact that that human physical connection, it doesn't write off the connections that we have online at all. It's just that it's different. It's an elevated experience of a heart connection. And it's an elevated spirit experience in terms of all the sensories are in overdrive, because we are feeling and experiencing from every sensory rather than just what we see. And we have just reached the time for our commercial break. So before we go, just to let you know that when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. So if you missed the first part, please do check into the replay. And if you're here on the live, please do continue watching. We're only going to be gone for a couple of minutes while we have the commercial break. And my question that we can both consider is, what do you think people are really seeking when they scroll or post online? So we'll leave that for even our viewers to consider what you are really seeking. And now over to our commercial break.
This is Let's Finally Talk, a heart-to-heart with Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, live streaming every night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm your host, Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. Join me on YouTube at Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, on Facebook at Dr. JACALYN, and on Instagram at Dr. JACALYN, as seen and heard on the USA Global TV and Radio Network worldwide. We've earned the YouTube Silver Creator Award, and I've earned the 100 Global Top Women Icons in Media. My TV shows are Iconic Women, Creating a World of Possibilities, Judgment, the Hidden Sin, A Woman's Prerogative, Sisterhood Across Borders, It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, and the latest updates. Thanks so much for watching. See you tomorrow. We're streaming every night live on Let's Finally Talk.
And welcome back to USA Global TV and Radio, our show, A Woman's Prerogative, in partnership with E360 TV. And if you were here on the live earlier on before the break, a warm welcome back to you rejoining us. If you're here on the replay, a warm welcome on the replay. We have been exploring the subject, the topic of the great disconnect, how technology has hijacked human connection. And I left our wonderful Reverend Lydia Fougeres, our full-time panelist, with a question before we went to the break. What do you think people are really seeking when they scroll or post online? What are your immediate thoughts? Why do you post and why are you scrolling? What is it that captivates you, and what do you think is captivating others as they post and scroll?
I think they are trying to find something that can relate to them. They are trying to find something that they feel close to, that makes them feel that they are not alone. So that is pretty much the way it is. They seek people that have same opinion as them. They seek people that are of the same mind. So that is pretty much what it is. I know that I am crazy for those cat videos.
I hear you. I really. I see many videos of, because I'm into my music, my sort of old, style of 70s, 80s music. And I've now become a bit of a super fan of a new group that are bringing out a lot of 70s music and singing it. Just three of them. And I feel like sort of just so heartwarmed. It makes me feel good. And it just transports me back to a time that I felt really good and free and easy. And it's the music. Music transports us to a time that was easy, innocent, and it also transports us to times that can be emotional, difficult. This group in particular, every time they're coming into my feed, and they are regularly now, because I'm commenting and saying, oh my gosh, I'm really, really on this, and I'm feeling good. And I feel good that they are commenting and loving my responses to their songs. And so I'm becoming a super fan and reposting some of their songs and videos. And they're on TikTok. And so that makes me feel good. So what makes you feel good, Reverend Lydia, when you are scrolling online, whether it be LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram? What is it that captivates you and makes you feel good?
What makes me feel good is actually when I find something that is relaxing, that makes me feel happy. I am into everything that has to do with peace. So what I like is that Zen, all kinds of Zen videos. I love Zen videos, so I will go through those. Because I find some kind of a haven in those videos, in those posts or reflections. I'm an author, I write reflections. So I look at what other people think also, because I want to know, how do people think? Do they think like me? Yes, they do. Lots of people think peace like me. You, Caroline, Dr. JACALYN, we are people of peace. So that is what I look for. And I do think that many people look for the same thing. We look for things that will bring us harmony and joy, a lot of joy.
I'm nodding here in the background, Reverend Lydia, agreeing with you and feeling, yes, I feel your heart, I feel your words. And yes, we are connecting because of things that we like. But this is the secret of the algorithm. The algorithms will, if we're liking and commenting, it will bring to us more of what we're liking and commenting. So this is a bit of feedback for people that are liking and commenting negative news and negative situations, that they are attracting from the algorithm more negative stories, which obviously spiral them into a further place of stress, anxiety, and depression. So just looking at the emotional and mental health impact, because that's what we're just looking at now, that we find things that make us feel good, but then there are other things that can make us feel bad. And I switched on the TV just to watch a little bit of iPlayer last week. And on the news, there was details about a flood in Jamaica. And then I went into my feed this week on Sunday, and there was a series of stabbings on a train, on a local train that I actually use to go from where I live into London, which really was quite scary. And the news, I put the TV on to see what was going on. And on Saturday, I was out dancing and having the time of my life, feeling really connected with real human beings. And while I was in that space, there were people being stabbed on a train who had nowhere to go. And so that obviously made me feel very, very upset, very cautious. And it made me realize that not everybody's living in that bubble. So just looking at the fact that there is negative news and we do need to be aware, and it does affect our mental health and it does affect our anxiety and our stress. What are your thoughts about the fact that we tend to connect because we are lonely in our screens? What are your thoughts about that, Reverend Lydia?
Yes, we tend to connect because we are lonely, that is for sure. But at the same time, we tend to connect. Well, people think they are lonely, actually. They're not lonely. They just feel alone. And I will take something from the wonderful Dr. Agio that is on this channel also. She has her own show. She said she said alone. Okay, so people think they are alone, but Dr. Agio, I thought that was so wise. She said, we are all one. We are not alone. We are all one. So we are not alone. So we tend to think we are alone, but it is untrue. Actually, we are far from being alone. We actually are connected with everyone on earth because our actions have repercussions on every other person. And if we actually are kind and so on, Well, we will help the world, but we are not alone at all, even if we tend to think we are alone. We are not lonely. We just do not know.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. I really feel very warmed at your words, and I'm sure many people will, because loneliness resides in the mind. It's what we're thinking, and it's what we turn over in our internal conversation. And actually, loneliness resides in the mind. And when we're not in the mind, we are connected to our hearts. And when we're connected to our hearts, we can connect with other people from heart to heart rather than from head to heart. It's very difficult for somebody that's in the mind and constantly in thoughts, and negative thoughts at that, to be able to connect from the heart. So what you've just described is absolutely perfect. We are one. That's one of my sayings. We are all connected. And if we are feeling lost and isolated, then we will create more of that feeling lost and isolated with other people that are feeling the same. Just thinking and looking at the increased stress and the fact that we compare, there's such a comparison culture online, and there is a culture of validation online, likes and loves, and is the comments, are people looking at our posts? And I feel personally that it creates a temporary high in a long-term emptiness. What are your thoughts about that, Reverend Lydia?
Well, I think that if I post, I do not really wonder how many likes, how many hearts I have, or how many thumbs down I have. I do not really care because I post for information. So the thing is that I see it as someone reading the news. You see, someone reading the news. Do you think that someone reading the news is going to wonder about all the people, all the viewers, if those viewers are actually liking or hating their news? I see it like that. I post, and whatever they think, it is their thought. I'm not responsible for their thoughts. If they like, they like. If they do not, so be it. I see it that way.
I'm nodding here in agreement, absolutely in agreement with what you're sharing here. Wise words to our audience, whether you're watching here on the live or the replay. One of the things that comes up for me is FOMO. I didn't even know what that meant. I actually had a client that told me what FOMO meant. And he told me it was fear of missing out, that we remain plugged in because if we don't, we might miss something. And I certainly missed about the floods and the hurricane in Jamaica. And I also missed about the stabbings on the train in my locality. And so I wasn't in fear of that. It actually made me feel very saddened and quite heartbroken at a time that I was having fun and feeling really good. So fear of missing out, it actually can keep us plugged in. What are your thoughts about that, Reverend Lydia?
Well, we feel plugged in, yes, but at the same time, we can feel turmoil when we see all those events. We are doing something, we are having fun, we are doing this, we are doing that, and then all of a sudden, paf, disaster. We see a disaster occurring. So the thing is that it is not always good. It is good to know what is going on in the world. But I have to admit that I was actually 8 years without watching the news at all. I disconnected totally. And I had this peace of mind that was difficult to understand because I had someone in my house that actually was watching the news. So there was this. But I disconnected completely for 8 years just to see if I could do it. And I went into a meditation house. When I came back from the meditation house, the government had changed. It was a different party. There was different changes in my province in Canada, and I was totally like, pardon me, I missed all that. But I readjust. I readjusted, and that was it. We readjust. That is the way.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. Some wise sharings there, some really powerful things that you have done. I've pretty much done a similar thing. I've disconnected from the news, newspapers, and radio. And so I just hear what I need to hear. I don't hear all the doom and gloom all of the time, but I get to hear what's necessary for me to know. So we are coming to the end of our show, and I just want to quickly look at authentic connection in today's digital world. And just a quick share that, you know, one of the things that when I went dancing on Saturday, and it was an all-day clubbing event, that I received a lot of hugs, and it made me feel amazing. And I know that it releases oxytocin when you hug somebody, and I feel absolutely brilliant, even though I had to leave early to get my trains home. What are your thoughts about hugging and the release of the wonderful oxytocin?
Well, I have to admit that I was a person that disliked being hugged before. I was a person that I could not stand being touched by anyone. And I changed. I changed because the circumstances were like that. I decided that, I had to accept that hugging was good. And I decided that it was acceptable. But I am a very private person, I have to admit. But I like when someone that I love hugs me. I like it. I really like it. So the thing is that I do think that hugging a person is a wonderful thing. And we have to go over like 20 seconds, I think, for us to have a benefit. So hugging is a very good way. And you have some cultures that they hug, they kiss, whatever. And that is good because you see those people are at peace.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. Some extraordinary shares there, and I'm so in agreement with you. And it's wonderful to hear that you have changed your attitude towards people giving you a hug. It really is quite refreshing that you have moved your thinking about hugs. Well, we are pretty much at the end of our show. Please do share with our viewers how they can contact you and the best way to reach you.
They can contact me at my phone number at 1-514-582-6882. They can contact me also on Instagram at Rev, R-E-V, Lydia Fougeres, and they can also contact me on LinkedIn. They can buy my books on Amazon at 111 Reflection for Thy Earth Odyssey, tomes 1 and 2. I answer also my emails, greatdivinemother@gmail.com. So they can actually also contact me if they want to have their own shows or be a guest on USA Global TV. So they can contact me so I then can make them talk to our wonderful Dr. JACALYN. So as country manager for Canada and French countries, I will make them have the dream of their life, having their show or being a guest on those shows. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. Amazing. And thank you very much for offering really insightful shares today. As you always do, it's always a pleasure to share this platform with you, with your wonderful shares. We are so similar, and yet we are in different countries. I feel very heartened that I share this platform with the fact that you are similar in the way that I view, the world as well. You can reach me on No More Stress at live.co.uk, or call me if you're international, +44. If you're local, 07523 120 189. You can follow me on LinkedIn and Facebook. Those are the two platforms that I prefer to be connected with. And I'm also on Instagram and YouTube, because if you Google my name and YouTube or go to the channel And you can find all of my shows that I've done alone or the Woman's Prerogative. So just looking at how we connect. Being connected isn't the same as truly connecting. Behind every screen, there is a human being longing to be seen, heard, and understood. Technology may have changed the way that we communicate, but it doesn't have to define us. It doesn't have to define the depth of our conversations. Our real challenge isn't switching, absolutely not, off from our devices. The real challenge is switching on our awareness, as both Reverend Lydia Fougeres and myself have done. To be in awareness, to listen, to care, to be fully present with one another. Authentic connection isn't found in our hands, it's found in our hearts. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's been my pleasure to host this show on behalf of the wonderful Reverend, on behalf of Dr. JACALYN, our president and our visionary extraordinaire. She has been awarded the coveted YouTube Silver Creator Award, achieving over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. We actually have over 106,000 subscribers on the main channel and over 37,000 subscribers on our second YouTube channel, Dr. JACALYN. Thank you so much to all of our subscribers. We look forward to seeing you next week. Stay connected, stay real, and move into the heart. Thank you very much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next week on Monday, Eastern Time, 7 p.m. and Greenwich Mean Time, because we've moved our clocks back now, which is 7 p.m. GMT time. Thank you very much to our wonderful full-time panelist, Reverend Lydia Fougeres, for her wonderful and incredible, insightful shares. It has been a pleasure to host this show for you. And now over to our sponsors. And before we do that, a very warm, gracious thank you to our wonderful visionary, Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, for all the amazing and whizzy effects behind the scenes. Without her, this show wouldn't happen. Thank you very much, Dr. JACALYN, for giving a platform to share education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. Until next week, stay connected. And over now to our sponsors. Bye-bye for now.
Nestled in the heart of the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Horseshoe Farm has always been more than a destination. It's a living, breathing reflection of community, connection, and transformation. Once a humble family farmstead, it has evolved over the years to become a sanctuary for travelers, seekers, families, and friends alike. Originally reimagined by the Turchin family as an Airbnb property, the farm began its journey into hospitality with simple roots, welcoming guests to experience the beauty and peace of the sacred land. As word spread and the vision deepened, the property organically blossomed into a boutique resort, rooted in the values of slow living, intentional experiences, and the magic of gathering. Today, the Horseshoe Farm is a 90-acre experiential retreat that merges hospitality, wellness, and culinary excellence. It is home to the Stable Spa, the Silo Cookhouse, distinctive lodging options, and a curated calendar of events that nourish mind, body, and spirit. Our guest experience is designed to be both grounding and expansive, where the comforts of luxury meet with the simplicity of nature. At its core, the Horseshoe Farm is about transformation of land, of self, and of community. We are proud of where we've come from. We are confident in who we are today and excited for the road ahead. Hello, I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, also known as the Listening Mentor and President and Founder of USA Global TV and Radio. I had the opportunity, the pleasure of attending a retreat at the Horseshoe Farm just recently. I was so impressed with all of the opportunities that were presented to me in this glorious setting, as well as the highest level of customer service, that I've decided to put together a retreat at the Horseshoe Farm in Hendersonville, North Carolina, United States of America, June 3rd through the 6th, 2026. You can expect to have a beautiful time of relaxation combined with learning, community, collaboration. Do consider joining me in this wonderful opportunity to reconnect with yourself, with others, and with nature. For more information, email me at drjacalyn@usaglobaltv.com.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USAGlobalTV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.